If you're searching for a beginner makeup tutorial that's extremely detailed, this video is for you. Not only am I showing you from start to finish how I achieved this look, but I'm also going into detail on perfecting your base, my favorite products, and a couple of makeup hacks as a bonus. I have received a lot of compliments in this space, so I decided to film my entire look and share it with you. If you're trying to perfect your makeup routine for 2026 or you're just starting out, go ahead, grab something to drink, get a snack, and enjoy the video. As I mentioned before, this video is very detailed, so I'll start with the base. I started using this resurfacing pad. Not only does it exfoliate my skin, it also makes it feel a whole lot smoother. It doesn't matter how well you think you cleansed. I am gonna let this dry down a bit. To speed up the process, I use one of these fans. This was like $7. Salicylic acid by La Roche-Posay. This is for the girlies who have sensitive skin, who tend to break out when they apply makeup. I was told that the key to flawless makeup is perfecting the base. It is very important for you to hydrate your skin. I don't care what anyone tells you, you need to use SPF. You will see a significant difference in your face, in the texture, in the tone of your skin when you start using skincare effectively and as often as you should. I love this one by La Roche-Posay because it is really light and it does not leave a white cast. See that? And of course, you know it. It is super important for you to ensure that especially your SPF dries down properly before you move on to the next step. These are my current favorites. For this video, I'm going to use the Milk Primer. You do not want to rub the primer on your skin. We did a whole base routine and we do not want to move those products around. You're just going to be pressing it into your skin. I apply primer to every area where I put product. I know there are people who put the primer in specific areas, but I want everything to sit. It might use a little bit more product, but I'm okay with it. If you just want to do your T-zones, that's okay. I use a little bit of this. This just helps my brow to stay in place. Feel free to skip this step. I'm just going to go in with a regular brown pencil. I know there are a lot to choose from. I paid $1 for this. I just try to go with the natural shape of my brows, trying to go along my natural brow line. I don't think I do the most amazing brows. I do try. To fill in my brows, I use a regular eyeshadow palette. I've tried a couple of those brow powder thingies and eventually I realized that they're not any different from regular eyeshadow. I'm going to use this one. It works wonders. So I'm just going to be doing upwards, what is this, motions, swipes, strokes for the inner sections. I'm just highlighting the area that I lined earlier. This is the concealer that I use. This one is an oldie but goodie. Just take your time. I'm just lining the brows. So what this does is just make it cleaner. I'm going to be going in with this concealer. I also use this concealer to conceal any dark areas. So like right here, I have hyperpigmentation. When you apply your concealer, do not blend it out immediately, especially if you're trying to cover dark spots. This is what it looks like. Short, quick movements of pushing it into your skin, just moving your hand while you're at it. I'm pretty sure you can see the difference. I know that there are so many products being pushed and marketed and there are so many influencers who tell you about these products, but I promise you, to have a good makeup finish, you do not have to have the most expensive products. This is how we're looking. If you're a person who prefers no makeup or you just want to look polished to go out, then you could stop here and just do some eyeliner and a little bit of mascara and some lip gloss and you'd be fine. However, I am not a no makeup girl. I personally did not fall for that propaganda. I want to do my face. On days when I don't really want to wear makeup, then I'll just go for a tinted serum, a little bit of gloss, gloss, some mascara, and maybe a little bit of blush. But if I'm doing my face, I'm doing my face, honey. The next step in my routine is my eyeshadow. I choose to do it this way because I've had times when I did my eyeshadow after I did my foundation, and then I had fallouts from my eyeshadow on my foundation, then I had to go fix that. So now I do my shadow and then I go to the foundation so I can clean up just in case. The palette that I'll be using today is from Beauty Stop by Pageant Boss. I'm a natural eyeshadow girly, so this palette here has pretty much everything that I want. Whatever shade this is it like a, I think it's like a maroon color. I'm very simple with my eyeshadow. I don't need to do cut crease and all that. That's just not me. I really like this. I think I need to use this one more often. I just usually go with one dark shade. And I know there are people who use like 3 and they tell you this is a transition color. And listen, we're just gonna press the product in and then move towards the tip of the brow. Get something with a sharp edge like this, and then use that if you're trying to get like a clean, sharp finish. Oh, this is pretty. I like it. I'm just gonna put a little bit of product on the brush, and this will be just to blend this area out. I'm bringing this dark shade back in a little bit. There are different ways that you can apply your concealer. This is my way. And then I'm going to line as best as possible the center of my nose. I have a big enough forehead, so I do not apply a lot of product up here. This was meant to highlight your face. I'm not trying to highlight my already big forehead, so that's just me. Do what works for you. This is the brush that I use to blend out this concealer. You are pressing it into the skin and moving your hand as you do that. Let me tell you something that I missed, and I just realized, like it just dawned on me. The reason I missed it was because I prepped so well and my concealer worked so well that I don't know if you noticed, but I just noticed I did not apply any foundation. That's crazy. That was not the intention, by the way. So now I'm thinking I should probably just continue without foundation. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna see it all the way through. Let's make it work. Let's make it work. My favorite foundation at the moment. What I also love about this foundation, it has its own SPF. So this one is SPF 25. Us dark-skinned women, I know, struggle sometimes with finding the perfect match, because sometimes you find a match and it's perfect for that season and then it changes. I also know that sometimes you find a foundation, it looks like it works, but it's too orange or it's too yellow or it's too cool. So ta-da-da! I know you might be thinking that you're not an artiste, so you don't know how to mix anything. I promise you it is so easy. You use a little bit of this if it is that your foundation is too yellow or you find that it is too orange. Now, if you find that your foundation is too cool and you want to bring a little bit of color, a little bit of warmth back to it, this is the way to go. If it is that your complexion got darker, to mix the foundation, you can use a bronzer. You can save some money. This foundation is pretty much my shade, but I think I might be a little bit darker. For the sake of this video, I'll do a little bit of mixing just so you see how simple it is. Add a little bit of my bronzer. And feel free to shade test to get the desired shade that you want. There we go. Considering that I messed up and applied my concealer first, I am not really going to go much on the areas that I applied the concealer. I am just going to move around it. On a regular day where I did not forget that, then of course my concealer would go on top of my foundation. There are people who apply their makeup this way, so I guess this is fine. It's just I would have gone foundation, then concealer on top. I think we fixed it. Can you even tell that there was an issue? I don't think you can. When applying makeup, do not just put the foundation on your face. You have to bring it down, move the product down to blend into your neck. If you do not own one of these, you do not have to buy it. You can also mix your makeup on the back of your hand where it's warm, and it's just as effective, I promise. Now I'm going to contour. I'll either use my bronzer or I'll use a contour stick. For this look, I'm going to use my bronzer. I do understand that this part might look a little bit intimidating, especially if you are a beginner, but that's exactly how I felt when I started watching makeup videos when I knew nothing about makeup and I was trying to get it right. After doing it enough times, then you will realize it's not as difficult as it looks. This is the angled, I think it's the angled contour brush. Just a smaller contour brush for my nose. My advice to you, especially if you're not a pro or intermediate at makeup, plan the time. If it's something that you really like, I know nobody needs makeup, right? Every single time you'll see someone post their makeup and it looks really nice. There comes someone in the comments, you do not need makeup, you do not need all that makeup. Listen, if it is something that you like, if it is something that you enjoy doing, if you find applying makeup to be therapy, try to plan your day. Do not listen to the I don't need makeup people. None of us need makeup, but I like it, and if I like it and I can afford it, I'm going to wear it. Feel free to skip this step, but I will be going in with my liquid blush. I'm not using a whole lot for this look. There are some of us who suffer from a severe case of blush blindness. If you're just looking for a subtle look, then you don't even have to use the liquid blush. You can skip this if you want. Every area where you apply the creams or the liquid, you need to apply powder to set that area. I'm going to go in with this palette by Beauty Stop by Pageant Boss. This is what I use to set my concealer. I thought that the only shade that black women should use to set their concealer was Sacha Buttercup, that shade. Until I realized that there are so many shades out here. I use this to set, and I just dip it in here. I tap it on my hand, just press it into the areas where I applied concealer. You can use a brush to get some of the loose powder off, or you could just use the same brush that you use to apply your pressed powder. I also like to use some loose powder to set the foundation also. Now that I've set all the liquid with powder, I'm going to use a setting mist. You do not have to use a whole lot. Now to the powder. This is currently one of my faves. It is a drugstore foundation, but you know what? They never missed. I love having a matte finish because, as you can see, I did what I needed to do for my base, so I can do a matte look without my skin drying out. Do you see that? There are a lot of expensive brands that still do not compare to some of the drugstore products, but I'm not trying to fight, because you cannot tell some of the girlies differently, and I have like 5 or 6 different powders that I use. You can see this one gets used. Now I'm going to do my liquid liner. I don't even know if I can do this on camera. The way I get nervous is wild. Let's try this. For the lips, another drugstore pencil. And I'm going to use the same one that I used for my brows. So I'm going to go for the same areas that I just did. You do not have to do all this, by the way. This is just me. Right here is where I do cleanup. I just use the same concealer brush that I use for my brows. For this step, you do not need to line your entire lip. I'm just going in the corners, just for a little ombre effect. Powder blush. Judging from the looks of it, I think it's time for me to get a new blush brush. Straight to the trash. I just feel like I need a little bit of something. Let's add a little pumpkin spice under my eyes here. Now I'm gonna put my lashes on, and I will tell you, this is not me giving you advice. I use the hair glue, okay? The regular Bond glue. Don't fight me, don't come for me. And yes, I do have eyelash glue. However, I am yet to see one that works just as well and work just as fast. So I go with the good old beauty supply store hair glue, and the minute I put it on and I set it, it stays. Judge me, I don't care. I did not advise it. I am sharing what I use. If you know you shouldn't or you don't, just use your lash glue. If there is in fact a company that can prove me wrong, send it over. They say if it's not broken, don't fix it. And so far, this has not failed me yet. Mascara to blend the falsies with my natural lashes. For this look, I'll be using the Pristine Pink Gloss by L'Oreal. Kind of like a base. The inner section of my lips. You see the difference that makes? This is almost the final step, but one more thing. We need to set the entire face, and we need to try to ensure that our makeup is transfer proof and that it lasts as long as possible. And when I tell you this is the holy grail, everything that you heard about it is true, okay? It works. It makes your makeup last super long. I'll not be applying it for this look only because I don't even think I'm going anywhere. This would be my second to last step. Then I'd go back in with my Perfect Finish HD powder and just go over the T-zones. So that right there is my final step. Notice that I'm wearing matte foundation. However, my skin still look moisturized. The base, honey, the base. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this look. Let me know if there's anything that you saw that you be adding to your own kit. And also let me know, where do you think this look is perfect for? For me, it's anywhere. If I'm going to church, to dinner, whatever. But let me know for you, what would be the perfect outing for you to do this? Thank you for watching my video. Do not forget to hit subscribe, share this with a friend, and save the video so you can come back to it if you weren't watching and doing your makeup at the same time. I look forward to having you in the next one. Bye!